The great general public just seems to think it's learning your lines. You know, the thing is always asked, said to me, how do you learn all those lines? That isn't the problem, madam. It's how to say them is the problem, not how to learn them. Because there are so many choices, there are so many thoughts, and a director will want the scene one way, another director will want it another, and then the actor himself will find what he wants. And usually it's a marriage of all those things. Because finally, the actor has to do it. And finally, he has to be completely involved in it. And it ain't easy. You know, acting is only part of the process, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's complete for me, because it is vocational. It's like the priesthood. And I have no shame in that. I'm not ashamed to say that. I believe in it. I've had times when I have hated it. I have loathed it. I've loathed being at the hostage of it. But in the end, I do think that there is something remarkable about what we do, and something extraordinary in how it affects all our lives. That when you do something like a play like Titus Andronicus, and you realize that you're just, in the end, it's not self-aggrandizement. It's the fact that you're doing something that affects that audience. And you've got no responsibility. It's not to do with you anymore. It's to do with the event. And the audience go with it. And they come up and say, that was an extraordinary experience. And you always rather you feel very humble about that, because there's nothing you can say. You've merely been the instrument of something that's going on, you know, and you've prepared yourself over the years so that you can allow that to transfer through you. But in the end, it's a very humble-making experience, being in something which has enormous ramifications in terms of how people recognize their lives, recognize how lives are lived. Events and tragedy are obstacles, and they're coming at you. And the protagonist's job is to keep the obstacles at bay. He keeps pushing them away. He keeps batting them out into outer space, like Superman, those great meteors that keep flying at him. He bats them away. He bats them away. He bats them away. So he's going through this play, batting these. I mean, if you play Titus Andronicus, you're exhausted, you know, because everything's coming at you. You turn round, your daughter's had her tongue cut out. You turn round, your son's had his head chopped off. You turn round, you know, your brother's crying and lying in the ground. You know, so everything is happening. You're saying, how much more can I take? And as the actor, you keep pushing it away. And you know that you've got to go on that journey. You know that you've got to walk that track. And there's no way out of it. You can't avoid it. You can't say, oh, well, you know, I won't do it tonight. You know, I'll muff it. There are actors who do that. There are players who do. But you have to understand the responsibility of the work that you're dealing with. But at the same time, you can't not but deal with the specifics. You can't be too smart, because you've got to be in it. You've got to be engaged with it. You've got to put your body, your soul, your feeling, your spirit, everything on the line. You know, it's war. Acting is war. You know, you go out there and you're in a state of siege. I mean, even certainly particularly in tragedy, but even in other plays. But tragedy particularly, you gotta. If you don't cut it, it ain't no good. The audience are gonna feel cheated.